So we're here with Katie and Stephen Wolfe. I just want to start off by asking you guys how long you've been practicing law and then how long you've been married.
I've been practicing since 2010.
I've been practicing since 2008, and we've been married since 2015.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
Well, basically we got introduced by, I worked at the city prosecutor's office, and then when I left to go into private practice, Katie actually got my old job there, and so then we were introduced by a mutual friend at the city prosecutor's office.
Yeah.
It was not Rob.
It was not Rob.
No.
So how did that first date go? Who was the pursuer here?
He asked me out on Facebook. I was studying for the bar exam.
Yeah.
He says he didn't, but he asked me if I wanted to get drinks sometime. And then he texted me and asked me to dinner, and we went to dinner and drinks after, and it was
I was
a good first
hooking her
date.
up with the good bar outlines.
Yeah.
That was my smooth way into that.
I got like the advanced copies
Yeah.
of the twist bar outlines.
Yeah, and I was like, don't tell Professor Twist, I'm still scared of her.
So what law school was that?
Capital.
Capital. Okay, gotcha. So you guys have been married for almost 3 years?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so what's it like living with a lawyer then?
I mean, we've been living together for, almost the entire time we were together because Katie
So
had,
almost 8 years.
Yeah, Katie had moved back home with her parents after law school, studying for the bar and everything. And so she kind of just would crash over at my place 5 nights a week, give or
Pretty
take.
much.
And so basically I've been living with a lawyer for 8 years. 7.5. She wasn't a lawyer for the first 6 months, technically. But it's we're
as you
used
would
to it,
expect. It's nice because you've got someone to talk to that gets exactly what you're dealing with and gets the stress and understands, what you're going through.
I think it's a lot better now that we work together, not just because we work together, but because Katie moved practice areas into doing crim, because at least I think most people would agree that stories about debt settlement are not as interesting as about criminals. Yeah. And so I'd come home and be ramble on about then this happened, then this happened. She's like, I settled an account today. and then I'd be like, cool, anyways.
Now we don't have to have the entire how did your day go, because for the most part we were there, and now I don't have to listen to him talk for 2 hours about work and hope that he shuts up soon, and I actually can talk to him about cases. They're our clients now, so it's actually more interesting, and we can engage in conversations, and it doesn't feel like we're just talking about work, we're talking about our lives.
Yeah, so how did you two decide to embark on that practice together?
Well, I'd been at a firm for about 5 years, and then in 2013 I went out on my own, and then had a partner. Things didn't work out with that, and at the end of 2016 Katie was kind of over where she was, not because she didn't like them, but she just wanted to switch practice areas.
I was ready to switch. I always wanted to do criminal, but ended up in civil, so I was ready to make the move.
So I had split from my former partner, and Katie was ready for something new, and so the beginning of 2017 she came over, and so now the two of us have been working together, and we just hired another associate too. So it didn't happen. We didn't set out to open something together. It just kind of worked out that way. Eventually, after a while, and so it was a little bit rough at first, going from 2 incomes to essentially 1 income and
1.5.
Yeah. And so that was kind of stressful for a little bit there, but we're doing well now.
Yeah.
Do you find that one of you is more of the business manager side of things?
He's definitely.
No, there's not one of us that's more. There's one of us that
That
is,
is.
and one of us that isn't.
I don't want to deal with the numbers and that aspect of it, and he doesn't want anybody else to deal with it. So it works out perfectly. So I'm great with the HR, the more social aspect of it. Not that you're not social.
Yeah.
But he's definitely that's his thing, and he's really good at it, and so he can run with it. I'm good.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it either. So, how have you maintained a healthy work-life balance while working in the same office together?
Oh, we just haven't.
Okay, never mind.
That's not true.
No, I'm just kidding.
We definitely try to take we know it's really busy. We don't always have time during the week, and sometimes we'll have a whole month go by before we're we haven't had a date night or anything, and so we'll try to catch ourselves when we're when everything's just kind of getting away from us and recenter. We try to go on weekend trips and make sure we book at least one good vacation each year where we disconnect, and that seems to work for us.
Yeah,
so.
we in our field things, and probably a lot of them, things kind of slow down in December right before Christmas because the courts aren't trying to have any trials. The courts aren't trying to do anything. They're pushing it all into the next year, and so we try to do that week right leading up to Christmas. So then it just kind of turns. We get back, and then we still have some more time to unwind after Christmas, and then it has gone.
It feels
well
like we
past,
get a half a month off.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, even though that week between Christmas and New Year's, there's not really anything going on in court for the most part, so we can get caught up, do year-end stuff, and it's because we're in court every single day, it's getting to go to the office is a luxury, and we get to do it for an entire week.
Well, you're not in the court today, right?
We were.
Well, I was.
You were? Okay.
Apparently, I stepped off the elevator right as the power went out.
I was gonna
so
say.
I got really lucky today.
I was gonna say maybe you had a day off for the power outage.
But yeah, so getting to be in the office is nice, and then we'll sit around. Sometimes we'll just be sitting there at the office talking about stuff, and we can really just do this at home. We don't have to.
We
be
should
sitting.
feed our dogs
Yeah.
and do this at home.
Yeah.
How many dogs do you have?
2.
2 dogs, 4 cats.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs?
2 puggles. Well, one of them we think is a boxer pug mix, but
They're
we're
both
told
little.
she was a puggle, so they're both little smushy face dogs.
Yeah.
They're both cute. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So what would you say are the biggest challenges, and then on the other end of this spectrum, the biggest benefits of working with your spouse?
I think, for us specifically, since there isn't one, if we're having a rough month, business-wise, there isn't, a second income to fall back on. It's just, that's it. So I think that's the biggest drawback, and so that can be stressful. But then, at the same time, the biggest benefit is, we don't have anybody telling us what we have to do, where we have to go. And if we don't want to do something, if we don't want to take a client, we don't have to take that client. There's nobody telling us that we have to. If we don't have anything going on, we can just go to the zoo or something like that. So it gives us a lot of freedom, but at the same time it's a little bit stressful just because we have nothing to fall back on. We don't have I can't fall back on her, and she can't fall back on me as far as income goes.
But I think also one of the benefits is that we can fall back on each other as far as scheduling. So, if we're really busy, or if one of us, and it does seem to happen this way frequently, one of us has a busy week, the other one's not as busy, we can kind of cover for each other. Or if I have something scheduled, but say I need a doctor's appointment and I can only do it on this day, I can say, would you mind covering my cases so I can make this appointment? We can fall back on each other in that way. It's nice to have, and to be able to do it last minute, to be able to be sitting at home on Sunday and realize, I need to do this tomorrow. Could you go to court for me or cover for me? Or would you mind going to the office and doing this? Like, it's nice to be able to rely on each other that way.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. So what would you say is the most rewarding part of your marriage? It's a big question.
You go first.
Lucky you.
Most rewarding part of our marriage is I think that we have so many similar interests, and now it's like, I mean, we're together all the time pretty much, and we for the most part don't get sick of each other either, so that turns out well. Like, we have other friends that will see that it's like, well, we're just going to see him, or we're just going to see her, and I think it's like playground style where it was picking teams, and it's like, no, they come as a package. So if you get one of us, you get both of us, but we're very similar, and we have similar interests, similar attitudes about things, so it works out well. If it was, it wouldn't work out well if we were not like that, I suppose.
I kind of agree with you. The most rewarding thing is, and it's a result of us having similar interests, is that like we have very similar sense of humor. So there's never a day, even if like one of us is having a really bad day, that at some point we can't make the other one laugh. And that's also a great thing about working together is, when you don't work with your spouse, even if you have that connection, when you don't work with them, you don't get that when you're at work. So you might go an entire day of having a bad day before you get home and there's somebody that you can talk to, somebody that's going to make you laugh and cheer you up, or say you've had a bad day or you're in a rut, like, let's do something, let's plan a trip, let's go somewhere, like, and having that at work, in the workplace, I think is extremely beneficial. Having somebody in your work environment that understands you and that you have a connection with, that can, make work not seem, it's always going to seem like work in our field. It definitely is, but it integrates together so well that you don't always feel like you have this compartmentalized work day, and you always have that person that you can kind of rely on to make you laugh or make your day better. So I think that's kind of the most rewarding thing.
You guys are so cute. Well, that's all the questions we have, unless you have anything you want to add.
I think so.
Melanie and Rob thought about maybe smooching at the end, but we didn't do that. That was a joke.